Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. If you haven't been living under a rock, you know that the hottest, coolest new thing is ChatGPT. Basically, ChatGPT is an AI that has huge amount of people signing up. I think in about 5 days, 1 million people sign up for ChatGPT. It might have been the fastest sign up to something in the history of mankind. I think that we're going to start a series about how to make money using ChatGPT. Yes, money makers. So we're going to start trying to figure out how ChatGPT can help us make money in the year 2023. Now, we're going to start off with using ChatGPT to make money in crypto and stock market because that's mainly what we talk about on this channel. So for this video, we're going to use TradingView. Now, TradingView is a website that you can look at stocks, cryptos, and they have a possibility where you can add your own code and do specific strategies. And you can also take these strategies and trade with them, right? So they have here the Pine editor. You can see here at the bottom of the screen. Now, most people do not know how to code, right? In my previous life, about 2 years ago, I was a software developer, web, back end, front end. I did everything. And so automation. And so for me, this is kind of, getting back to my roots, playing around with it. But for most people, it's, I don't know how to code, although most people are saying to themselves, but in today's day, most people have a basic understanding of coding, and you can Google, how do I do this and that, right? But ChatGPT gives us the possibility to do it really easy, okay? Now, for example, I go to ChatGPT and I tell him, hey, ChatGPT, right, can you create a Pine script strategy backtest for a 5-minute moving average crossover, right? And now this can be any kind of crossover indicator you want to design, and you can play around with this and you can do back tests. You'll see in just a second. It will tell us if this is a good strategy or a bad strategy. And so all we do here is enter, right? Enter. Certainly here is an example of this, and it's doing the exact code. Now each time it kind of changes, okay? So what happens is it's an AI, so it's learning, it's developing, and there's a specific it's called temperature that you can give it. Now, if you don't like the way it's in a chat form, you can come here to the playground. It's on the beta OpenAI playground, and you can do it here, right? You can do it the same thing here, submit, right? And it's going to create a code for me as well, right? But in this scenario, I don't have the chat possibilities. So I get the code, right? But I don't get the chat. So if I wanted to, for example, ask it now to do enter data and say, hey, this is data for Bitcoin from the last year, right? Now do this and create a strategy according to the data that I entered, right? This wouldn't be able to do that, right? So for this scenario, we can just take the code here, right, from the playground, right? And we go here to TradingView and we do add to chart. Hopefully there's no errors, right? But I knew that there was going to be an error, right? Because you need to have code. It's either study or strategy function call, right? So we have to have this strategy function call, right? And like this, right? Strategy 5-minute moving crossover, right? I tried this before and I got the error. So I knew that we were going to get this kind of error, right? And now we can add it to the chart. Now, sometimes, right, and you can see, wow, right? And so now we see, I'm going to move myself to the other side for a second so you guys can see everything that's going on here. So you can see now on the graph, we have all these buy and sell signals. Now, this might not be a good strategy. We're gonna look at this in just a second. We're on the 5-minute chart, right? So this is a 5-minute moving average crossover for Bitcoin. Now you see that the net profit is minus 1,500. I think that it's calculated on a $100,000 portfolio. right? And so there were 745 trades, and only 34% of them were profitable. Okay, so this strategy is not good. I haven't figured out why it does this, right? On +2. So you can see, what do I mean by this? Let me know in the comment section if you guys know a little bit about TradingView. I need to Google this and try to figure it out. You can see that if we look here on this graph, it's telling us that the blue is crossing the red, which is what we're looking for, right? The crossover here. The blue is crossing the red, but then we get the buy signal only 2 candles later. And so this whole thing is off, right? Because it's waiting 2 candles for it to do. Now, it could be because this is a moving average strategy that we only get this data 2 days, 2 candles later. Right? If I see this correctly, right? So let's say we had a crossover here, right? But this would already cross over. So I don't know why it's 2 candles too late, right? If we would have crossed here, but this candle was not over, but it could have been that the indicator would have been here, right? So it wouldn't have been a good indicator, right? Because then it dropped off here, but then it came back, right? If we just change it here, we can see that it's going to be doing, I called it the 5-minute, but this can also be used on the daily, right? The code can be used because if you go and look at the code, it's looking at the SMA 5 and the SMA 10, but there's nothing here with 5-minute. It has nothing to do with 5-minute or 5-minute chart, right? Like we wanted 5-minute moving average crossover, but it's taking the data according to the chart. So I put it on the daily. If we go see the daily, on the daily, this made $15,000. So 15% on the daily if it goes and it back tests, right? How long the graph goes. We do 4 hour, right? It was minus 32, so it's not a good strategy at all, right? And an hour, it's an okay strategy. Now we can do all kinds of things. Like I was playing around before, and I said, ChatGPT, can you give me where is it? 1348 EMA, right? Which is something that I like to look at. 1348. Where are you? Here we go. So I said, can you create a Pine script strategy that buys when there's a crossover of 13 EMA and 48 EMA and sells when 48 EMA crosses the 13 EMA, right? And it created this code for me, okay? And it looked pretty good, but it had the same issue that it was not buying on the crossover, right? So we'll see that. So we have to figure this out, but we don't have to use we don't need this. We don't have, and you can see, so there's some errors because I know how to code. It was a little bit easier for me, but I think that anybody could basically do this. So you can see here on the 1 hour, it's losing 8%. On the 4 hour, it's up 10%. And on the daily, it's down minus 62%. Not good at all, right? But the thing is that it's delayed, right? So you would have shorted here, but it's saying now buy. I think I need to change. I played around with this, right? So it's all about playing around. Now you can even go and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you find where everybody is putting their stop losses, right? Let's see, right? Whoops, I had an error. See, it's telling me that this is that he can do it, right? But that being said, there are a few common now it's going to tell me these are a few common places that people will put accurate predict traders, right? But it's giving me a whole spiel, right? So this is really cool. Like for example, you were thinking, where should I put my stop loss, right? If I wanted to put my stop loss, well, now it's telling you this is where it's doing. So I can actually tell him, can you still try to create a Pine script? See, it didn't like me. Didn't like when people create stop losses, right? Can you still try when people will maybe we need to need potentially will potentially. So he doesn't like it. Anyway, we can play around with this even more and try to figure out what's happening here. And I think this is a really, really powerful tool to use. Now, if we understand how to use it correctly, we could be making a lot of money, a lot of money. But this is something that we need to figure out. We need to research. It's not going to be magic, right? But this just gives us something that we never had before, especially somebody that didn't have to code. And even if I know how to code, I don't have to learn PineScript now, right? I didn't know PineScript. I don't have to learn it now. I don't have to try to figure out what are the functions that could do this. And no, I just save like hours and hours and hours. And somebody that doesn't even know how to code, they saved a really long time. And so for cryptocurrency, it doesn't matter, right? This could be for crypto. It could be for stocks, right? Let's go Tesla, right? Tesla stock. It would do the same thing, right? And it's not the best, but I saw the 1348 was that I did before was a little bit better. It needs to be configured, right? Oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Technical difficulty time. I tried it for Tesla as well. So it can be used on stocks, it can be used on crypto, and it's a very, very powerful tool that can help us make a lot of money. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.